All right, welcome. Thanks for joining me, Eden. For everybody, I'll introduce her real quick. She is a advertising client. This is actually the second time she's worked with me. What was it, like a year ago that you worked with me the first time?
Probably a little bit more than that, yeah.
Yeah. So the first time she worked with me, you got like decent results, right? Um,
Yes.
okay. So yeah, if I remember correctly, you got like decent results back then, and now with this new month, since you re-signed with me a couple weeks ago, it's just been like tremendously better, right?
Correct. I actually the only reason I stopped with you is because I was working like a regular full-time job, and I was actually like ticking people off with how far out I was booked, because as soon as I signed up with you, within like a couple of days I was booked out a week, and then it turned into a month, and then 2 months, and then people started to like fuss me out for it. So that's the reason why I had to stop. So it definitely worked the first time, but now I'm like full-time self-employed, so I'm able to handle the volume now.
Nice. So yeah, if you just want to tell us a quick little bit about what you do and where you're located.
Sure. I'm actually in Loganville, Georgia, like a little country town. I started out in makeup, and now my main focus is brow work, so like microblading, powder brows, combo. I offer a couple other things. I have a lash technician that works for me, but brows and lashes are the most popular thing. Brows by far, for sure.
Perfect. And then I guess just to jump straight into it. So what do you think is the biggest difference between a year ago and what you're doing now to book more clients?
Um, well, first of all, my picture quality and my video quality is like 100 times better. I'm actually being cognizant of my lighting and making sure that all of my pictures are consistent. Whenever you go on my Instagram or my Facebook, every single picture for every single client is exactly the same thing. It's well lit, it's nice and crisp. But follow ups, I'm naturally introverted, so me following up with people was a struggle for me because I felt like I was bothering them, and I
Hmm.
really didn't know how to go about doing it properly. And then I actually messaged you about a weekend to, re-signing up with you, and I was like, people are disappearing as soon as I give them the price, and you kind of talked me through, don't give up the price, right off the bat, and here's how to follow up and when to follow up with them, and you kind of sent me that picture with all the, the different days, and
Hmm.
so follow up was definitely a big struggle for me, but that's actually what's gotten me the most business now that I've kind of learned how to do it and when to do it and what to attach to the message and how to actually speak to people. Follow ups have been where most of my business has been coming from, because most of the time people aren't going to message you and book right off the bat. They're going to
Right.
put you off and think about it. Oh, let me look at my calendar, or let me talk to my husband, or let me see. I'll message you when I get back from vacation, and then I was just like, okay, and then I didn't want to message them back and bother them. So that's been like the key for sure.
How often do you feel, because this is a common question I get, how often do you feel like you have to follow up to be successful?
Normally, if somebody kind of does the whole like brush off after you eventually tell them the price, I'll follow up within like 24 to 48 hours, with like a very short video, like a sped up version of what the services they're looking for. And I'm just like, hey, just following up with you. Just wanted to send you a short video to take the mystery out of what you're maybe looking into. I'm a permanent makeup specialist, and I'm also, a master instructor. So I'm more than happy to answer your questions or even set up a free consultation. And then I leave it at that. And then I don't follow up for probably 4 or 5 days, maybe a week. And then after they blow me off, maybe they blow me off that second time, then I'll wait, maybe a month or so and just kind of follow up from there. So I don't want to blow up their inbox to the point where they're irritated, but I do stay, I want to stay in front of their face.
Cool. And then are you also like posting consistently on your page?
Yes. If you don't see me posting at least once a day, I'm sick or I'm out of town.
Right. And a lot of people, I think, when I say follow up, they think I'm meaning just messages, but like just posting content. If someone's following you, that's a great way to get back in their face
Yes.
without being so direct. Let's see. What are some different types of messages you normally send?
Kind of right off the bat when they first message me,
Yeah.
I introduce myself. I make sure to use smiley faces because you want to come off almost overly friendly.
Yes.
Introduce myself, tell them that I'm the owner of my business, how long I've been in permanent makeup, that I am a specialist, that I am an instructor at an academy in Atlanta. And can I send them a picture of my different brow services so that they can choose which one they like the best? So that way, the people that, they message right off the bat and they're like, how much? First of all, I offer so many services, I don't know what they're talking about. So
Yeah.
by sending that picture to them, I'm able to start a conversation. And as soon as they answer with, okay, microblading or okay, powder brow, instead of just giving them the price, I say, okay, so here's how this works. And have you ever had permanent makeup done before? And I try to prolong that conversation as much as possible. And then
Mhm.
when they finally are like, okay, what is the price? Then I hit them with the price, but I make sure to sell my value and my knowledge first.
So do you just like send them the numbers of the price, or do you have like a certain message you send that says like this is what you're getting for that price?
Yeah, it's really like a copy and paste message. A lot of them are, but it's so normally, there's a $99 deposit to hold your fee or whatever your deposit is, and that goes towards your grand total. The standard price collected at your appointment would be X, but because you're, wanting to take advantage of the Facebook offer that you clicked on, your special price would be Y. And then if you want or need a touch up in 60 days, it's this price or it's free. Um, and then I never just leave it at, okay, and the touch up would be this, and I end it. I always follow it up with, but I would be more than happy to give you a consultation if you're more comfortable. That way I'm sandwiching in the price with a
Mhm.
message and another message.
Yeah, I like that, the price sandwich. Real quick before I forget, not to change subjects, but what was that app you were talking about with the forms?
Oh, it's TRF. It's tattoo release forms. It's only compatible with iPads. I got mine off of Amazon. It was like refurbished for $80 or something. But you can set it up yourself. You can make it to where it's going to read off your legal clauses and kind of requirements and stuff to the customer based off of what you and your insurance company or your lawyer has set up. But literally, I used to go through so much paper. I would, make a copy of their ID, and then I would hand them over like a whole stack of paper, and they would take forever signing through it, and they would constantly ask questions. But when I found this app, it takes a picture of their ID. It immediately takes them to the next screen. They type in all of their information. They click all the way down to initial things that more than likely they're not reading through anyways. Let's be real. And it's cut down my like intake time by like in half. And you can connect it to like Hello Sign or DocuSign or Google Cloud or something like that. So all of it sandwiched together, and then I don't have to have actual paperwork in my office. So if the city comes in and inspects, all I have to do is pull up my iCloud basically, and all of my clients are, alphabetized by last name. I can see their ID, and I can see all of their paperwork at once, and I can just flip to the next customer. So it's called tattoo release forms.
Okay, that's awesome because I never had any exposure to DocuSign until I was buying a house last month, and then just
Yeah.
being able to like click and like sign online was super easy. So I
Yeah.
can see how that's beneficial. Going back to the follow up, you said something about a sped up video. How did you make that?
I actually had my lash technician take a video, like 5-second blips of me, starting the head of the brow and then the middle and then the tail and then me wiping it away and actually, running my finger over the finished brow. So altogether, it was like a 45-second video, but I use an app called Splice. And actually, that's where I put all of my videos together, and you can add music and text and all of that stuff. So you can actually like adjust the speed of how fast the video is playing back, and it shortened it down to like a 15-second video, and it was just a very sped up version of a non-bleeding client, which is also important. You really don't want to scare people with drawing blood on a video. So
Mhm.
I could tell that this girl wasn't going to be a bleeder, so I made sure to record it. And then at the very end, I put my information at the end. That way, it's again reiterating like, I'm in your face. This is my name. This is what I do. This is my work. And it's very quick. It's not going to lose their attention.
Okay. I forget what you said earlier. I was going to ask about it. Sorry, I just blanked out. Do you have any like other tips that you've learned since last year that you think has affected the performance?
Um, I'm posting a lot more. Again, the video and the picture quality and the consistency of, if you go on my Instagram, any brow client, it's going to be a close-up picture of their brow, and then the next picture is going to be the same thing. It's going to be before and after, before and after, before and after, a close-up and a video. But a lot of it is the videos really help. I get a lot of like interaction and engagement on my Facebook from my videos because everybody knows you can edit your photos, you can edit in or edit out, little mistakes, but a video is a tell-all really.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will interact more so on my videos because it's real time. You know, you're able to see the actual brow with no editing done. And then making it just right under 45 seconds or so, anything over a minute, and you lose people's attention. So videos, like really high quality, well lit videos are really important.
Do you ever do any videos where you're explaining something, or is it just like you're painting over the brows?
I actually did my mom's brows, and I documented the whole thing. I had her interview, you know, before, during, and after, and then also at the touch-up, and I compiled it and pinned it to the top of my page. So a lot of people were engaged by that because they kept saying, I really want to get my brows done, but I don't know what to expect, and it's kind of a mystery, and I don't know what I'm getting myself into. And the video they didn't know it was my mom, but the video with your mom really helped me kind of see behind the veil, behind the curtain a little bit.
Yeah.
And so it took a lot of like what does her place look like? Like, is it, I'm not sure, or, you know, what to expect right after I'm done. Cause you see these glorified pictures of, you know, full fresh brows, but then they don't really know what to expect when they actually sit up and look in the mirror and their brows are a little bit swollen or it's a little bit darker. So seeing that from a client talking to me and having this like happy, engaged face on her, it really helped people be like, okay, I'm not so scared.
Yeah, I didn't even realize you had that video. We need to use it for an ad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So picture quality. So I get a lot of questions about how to take the pictures, how to edit them, and it's hard for me to answer because I'm not there taking the pictures. So
Sure.
what tips do you have for that?
So with my older iPhone, I was just able to take pictures with my flash, but I've actually found within the past probably 4 or 5 months that on at least the iPhone, if you're videoing with a flash, there's a little button on the bottom and you can actually take still shots of that video. So, you know, I put the flash on, I get way up in their face, I zoom way in on the strokes or whatever I'm working on. And I'm actually taking still shots, and it's really well lit, really, really crisp quality photos without actually going out and buying like a Canon or an Nikon or something. But I get way up on their eye for the first shot, and then I go from the side, just kind of like a before and after, and then right up front. A lot of artists that struggle with symmetry only do side shots. They don't do straight on. So a lot of clients have said that to me. I like the fact that I can see both brows from your work, because a lot of artists, they just post from the side. And even if they are doing symmetrical work, it makes me wonder.
Yeah.
So just really well lit. Try to use your flash as much as possible, or even your mag light, like the mag light that you're using for light while you're working. Put that way down near their face and take really clear, crisp shots, especially with like your back camera on your phone, not the front-facing camera. And then for your video, do the same thing with the flash.
Okay. So the past couple of weeks, how many bookings have you gotten?
I just booked 2 on the way home from my family lunch. I think altogether I've been with you for 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think it was like 17 days.
Yeah. Over 15.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then what was I going to ask? Oh, when they book, are you doing like manual booking, or is everything like online booking? Like what booking software do you use?
If it's a client that's a little bit over like middle age, I try to just do it for them, because you'll lose a lot of those older clients that have to go through and click through the computer. They don't want to put their credit card over the internet. But if it's somebody younger, I'll ask them, do you want to go ahead and choose the date with me, and I can manually send you the invoice, or would you like the link and you can just do it yourself? And
Okay.
A lot of younger people will do it themselves. My website is built through a website called Wix. I know that's kind of controversial. Not everybody likes Wix, but their booking platform works perfectly for me. I can set the deposit, the time in between the appointments, availability, all of that stuff, and I don't have to do a thing. I just send them the link, and then it just rolls through as a booked appointment.
Nice. What is that called? Like Wix booking or something? I'm not familiar.
Yes. So my whole website is built off of Wix, but the platform just to book is Wix Booking.
Okay, cool. Let's see. We covered pictures, we covered videos, we covered forms. And what was that form app called again?
Tattoo Release Forms, or
Tattoo Release Forms. Okay.
TRF. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then do you have any other tips on like consultations? I get a lot of questions on like, should you do a consultation? Should it be free? Should you charge for it? All that stuff.
So on my website, it says that I charge, but the only reason I did that is because I want people to know that normally I charge for a consultation, but I'd really like to meet you, so I'm not going to charge you. I never charge for a consultation, but on my website, it says that at their booking, email confirmation, it says there's going to be a charge. At their reminder email, it says there's going to be a charge. But I want them to feel like they're getting something from me, so that it already gives them like a good impression of me, like giving them something. I'm nice. And as far as the consultation's concerned, do not stop smiling. Engage. I'm honestly like I'm wore out when I do a consultation because I don't like to do a lot of talking, but I'm like a chatty Cathy during a consultation. Make sure that you're sitting with your shoulders back and you're being very articulate when you're speaking, and you're not stumbling over a lot of your words, and you're telling them quickly. My consultations never really last more than 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, here's what I'm seeing with your brows. I think it would be really attractive if X, Y, Z. Here's what we're able to do. Here's your options. What do you think? And then I always have a whiteboard next to me so I can actually draw things, because when I say things like micro shading to a 70-year-old woman, she's not going to know what the heck that means.
Yeah.
So I always have something near me that I can draw. But yeah, I mean, just feeling like they're getting something that they normally wouldn't get for free is definitely a foot in the door for you. And 90% of my clients book off of the consultation. If they even come in for consultation, most of the time they just book off the bat.
Perfect. And then do you think you get more clients from Instagram or Facebook?
I have never gotten one client off of Instagram. I don't know. My Instagram followers, they range in ages, but for the most part, Instagram is going to be for like your younger clientele, and most of the time, your younger clientele is not going to have permanent makeup money. Facebook is going to be where your bread and butter's at, because your mom's on there, and your auntie's on there, and your grandma's on there, and their friends are on there, and I don't know. I don't know. I have a lot of friends that are in the industry, and they get all of their clients off of Instagram. I'm like, what is this sorcery? Because all of mine are coming from Facebook. But I mean, I'm not complaining. It's just Facebook seems to be. I mean, I'm in the South. I'm in Georgia. Maybe it's just all the Southern little grandmas that are on Facebook trying to keep up with their grandkids. But Facebook is where it's at for me.
Do you find the majority of your clientele are older?
Absolutely, at least middle age.
Okay. It's always interesting to me to see the demographics and stuff, because like everybody's a little bit different. I think it also, like you said, depends what area you're living in.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm out in the country. I'm out in the boonies. So for every 5 middle-aged clients, I might get like a girl in her late 20s, but which is odd because there's a lot of young people around here. But I'm in the South, so income isn't that. It's not high up. It's not very. I don't know. It's just.
Yeah.
Minimum wage is minimum wage here, so normally your older crowd's going to be where it's at.
Okay, cool. As far as sales, like how do you think the advertising accelerator kind of like taught you something or changed the way you looked at it or anything like that?
I took it the first go around, but really it was just I went to college for graphic design and marketing and advertising, but that was like over 10 years ago, so it was really kind of a refresher course for me. But it was really more of just like staying in their face. When you think of McDonald's, you think of their arches. When you think of Target, you think of their little Red Bull or their little red bullseye thing. So it's just like continual pushing your brand in people's faces and making sure that they associate your brand with you being kind and nice and smiley, and following up. I mean, you don't get the sale unless you ask.
Perfect. Yeah, I will admit, since last year, I've added a lot more stuff to it, and I've changed my service a lot. I don't know if you've seen a difference at all, but I guess the results speak for themselves on that. As far as like, I don't want to keep everybody too long, and I do appreciate you being on a Sunday. As far as like any other kind of marketing or branding or just PMU advice in general, what would you tell like the newer artist?
I used to post a lot of pictures of clients that were like freshly mapped. And then my after photos were like semi well lit, and there was no consistency with my photos. But the general public doesn't even know what mapping is, measuring out the brows. They don't care about it.
Yeah.
The people are going to appeal to fresh, crisp, well lit before photos and after. And if you can convince your clients to take full face shots, as most of them aren't going to want to do that, A lot of my clients that come in, they always say, I really like your pictures and your videos, but I would really like to see what the whole face looks like as far as transformation. So if you can pull it off, if you can get a client that photographs well, and is smiley and really likes her brows and she's not too red and swollen, try to get a full face photo, because people really gravitate towards that because they're able to see like the whole transformation for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Like after running thousands of ads, every time I do an ad with the before that has like the brow mapping on it, it just doesn't perform as well as just like a clean before picture.
Right.
I think it just makes it look dirty. And like you said, people don't know what it means. And so, yeah, it just confuses them. It just takes away the quality of the picture. You did say another thing that I really liked. It was about, crap, I keep blanking today. Sorry, it's Sunday. But what was it? It was something to do with the picture. I don't know. Forgive me.
Like well lit or like a full face or something.
Yeah, full face. So like I always tell my clients, like people are they're not just paying for the artwork of brows. They want to see what it's going to transform their look, or how it's going to transform their look. And so I try to tell people, when you're thinking about selling or branding or marketing, you're selling an experience and you're selling a transformation. Like how can you either make someone's life easier, or how can you change their overall look? I know with artists, it's easy to get to hone in on those details that us like normal people don't really see, or like we don't understand all the strokes and all that stuff. I think a lot of artists focus on that as opposed to like what they're actually like selling, you know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, again, most, especially women, a lot of them come in at least a little bit barefaced, and they're like, I don't want to be on your social media with no makeup on. But I have actually just recently posted this one girl, and you know, her hair had been freshly done. She was super blonde. She had a face with makeup on, but she didn't have any mascara on, and I just done her brows, and she loved her brows, and she was smiling so big. And just right off the cuff, I was like, can I take a picture of you sitting up really quick? And I didn't even tell her I was going to be like showing her whole face. I literally said, I'm going to zoom in a little bit on your brows. And I kind of did, but I posted the full face and people were like, oh my God, she looks amazing. And I got like 4 or 5 messages off of just that one picture. So, if you can, at least from like the front really will show, you know, how much you transform them, at least over the eyes. You know, a lot of times you can sell like a facelift just with brows, because especially older women, you know, they're very thin, or the tail comes way down. So by lifting that tail, giving them some color back in their brow, like a straight on shot of at least like the nose and the eyes, it looks amazing, and people really engage off of those as well.
I've noticed you're really good at upselling. So what I mean by that is like you get in someone for brows and then you text me, you're like, hey, I just sold them on lips and all this other stuff too.
Yes.
How do you do that?
I kind of throw it in there if I can somewhere in the beginning, like, can I send you a picture of my most popular brow services? And if they kind of start to blow me off, I'm like, okay, well, I offer XYZ, so that any of these things, you know, appeal to you, you know, lashes or lip stain or a lip blush or anything like that. So I'm always trying to be like, okay, well, if this doesn't work for you, then this can. I actually had a lady last night, she went through cancer and mentioned something about wigs. And I was like, I do offer scalp micropigmentation. She goes, oh my gosh, I've been trying to find somebody to do that. I'm very interested. So it switched from brows to scalp. And then she called me today and booked both.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because like all these services are based in the same psychology and the same, like, I don't know, it's all the same reasons essentially when you really look at it. So it makes sense that they would want multiple ones.
Yes.
Cool. I got some people in the comments asking for your Instagram so they can follow you, and your Facebook page.
Yeah, it's kind of long. It's Splendid Beauty by Eden, and that's both my Facebook and my Instagram.
Okay, cool. And I'll try to post that in the comments after this so people can go check out your stuff.
Sure.
Sweet. Any last minute tips or anything? I really appreciate you being on.
Sure. I think probably besides the follow-ups, my dad has actually owned his own business for as long as I've been alive. And I was actually at the movies with him a couple of weeks ago, and the lady at the counter and I ordered like a medium tea or something, and she goes, you know, for a large, it's only 25 cents more. And I was like, okay. And then we walked away, and my dad was like, that's how she got you. Because they, you know, people will price like a medium size service for something almost as much as a bigger service. And she literally she played you. So I started doing that, with like lash services, like, if you get your brows done, if you want to upgrade to a combo brow, I'll throw in like a lash tint for you, which literally takes like 10 minutes for me, but they feel like they're getting something, and really you just like pocketed more money for almost nothing.
Yeah. Love it. Art of negotiation.
Yes.
Sweet. Well, those were some awesome tips. For those of you watching, if you enjoyed this, feel free to comment below and let us know. Or if you have any other questions, feel free to comment below. Eden, thanks for coming on a Sunday. Really appreciate it. And I feel like this was really valuable for my audience. And so any last minute or any pardoning words?
Just follow up with you and follow up with your clients, but don't be afraid to reach out and ask you questions, because you're as many clients as I'm sure you probably have in your pocket. You're very quick to respond. And I know if I appreciate that, then your clients will as well. So just, if you can, try your best to respond to your clients as quickly as possible, because you do. And I know how it is. I'm gloved up for 2 hours, and if I can't get to a client, they've blown past me and gone to the next person. So, even using like your little chat bot thing, it will definitely help. So just be really quick to respond and be really quick to follow up, because somebody else will slide in there and take that sale.
Yep. Perfect. Well, that's an awesome way to end the video. So I hope you have a great week, and thank you for joining.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.